Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
What is your name?
TARUN SUTHAR.
Introduce yourself.
I primarily belong to a rural family with agriculture background. I have done my schooling from nearby hometown. I have pursued graduation in BSc Honours in Physics from Delhi University, and this is my first interview in Haryana Civil Services with Geography as an optional, and I hope to join Civil Services soon.
What is the demand of the capital city according to you?
Capital city,
Delhi.
Delhi. With what context? I didn't understand.
Anything you want to say about Delhi? What is the demand of Delhi right now?
With respect to the political demands, there are demands with respect to statehood of the Delhi, and there are issues between the cooperation between the center and the state. For example, the Delhi government and central government, there are issues with respect to the.
This is what you are saying is more into the context of this government, etc. About Delhiites.
About Delhiites. Okay. So if we see Delhi as an entire system, for example, Delhi is overpopulated with respect to the sources available.
Is Delhi urbanized?
Yes, ma'am, Delhi is an urban city, a mega city of India. And because lots of migration are there towards Delhi, it has led to the lots of issues. For example, the slums are rising along the Yamuna floodplains, and there are stress on the social amenities. For example, in slum areas, recently Mint survey said 11 out of 20 families do not have the
If you see the condition of women in Delhi, it is the most fearful city for the women right now. Would you consider it urbanized?
Yes, ma'am, it is an urban city, and urbanized means it is. We have the criteria to consider any area as an urban city. For example, the population has to be engaged in non-agricultural sector. There has to be particular density 400 people per square kilometer. These are density according
So psychology of Delhi is not urbanized.
No, in the entire we cannot generalize that thing, because lots of people of Delhi are also there, outside migrations are also there, but a little in India what has happened, we have economically progressed, but our social mentality of some sections have remained a little bit behind, and that has led to the.
So as you said that you belong to rural background, what is the difference between rural and urban background according to you?
Difference between.
Yes, according to you, not according to statistics or due to this whatever has been, this everything has been clear set, but according to you, what makes you feel that you are from a rural background?
If we look economically, then rural side is
No,
more.
economic, not according to you.
Yeah, according
Yes,
to me, I am
yes,
saying
yes.
the people are more engaged in agriculture, and there is a lot of social capital in that area. In society, if we see, the people are more engaged toward, and community life is there. People mingle towards each other. There is a better love and towards the neighborhood relations. But in urban life, the relations are little bit narrower. They are more on towards the personal sides. They are temporary relations rather than the deeper relations which are usually found in the rural life.
Okay, recently Nobel Prize in Physics was announced. So did you follow it? Can you just highlight who are the winners, or at least what they have contributed?
Yes, 3 scientists got the Nobel Prize yesterday, and as far as I can remember, the one of the scientists was the Augustinio.
We don't go into names. What's the contribution? How it
The
has
contribution is
helped?
related to the astrophysics. It is a branch of physics where we deal with very small time period.
Can you just define numerically what does atto, pico, or femto?
Yes.
These three terms.
It's 10 to the power minus 18 seconds.
Yes.
That range.
Yes, that's
because
atto.
Electrons move with very high speed. So with that minimum time span, they interact with nearby particles. So
in physics, there is a lot of hue and cry about the God particle, which was Higgs boson. And in the Higgs boson, the boson was named after Indian scientists. Can you name the physicist after which it was named? Because he contributed to statistics of photons theme.
Yes, sir. Actually, it is slipping out.
Okay, I can give you three options. You can make an educated guess.
Yes.
Whether it was Rash Bihari Bose, whether it was Satyendra Nath Bose, or it was Jagdish Chandra Bose. Well, these three topics you cover while doing your GS.
So I think it was second one.
Satyendra Nath Bose? Are you sure or it's a guess?
So I am little bit confused about last two, but it is a.
But have you heard these three names
Yes.
somewhere in your GS
Yes.
preparation? Okay, anyway, you are right. Satyendra Nath Bose is the right answer. And what is the sex ratio of Haryana?
So it's 873. It's,
So how would you describe? Is it good enough or more needs to be done?
say it is among one of the lowest sex ratio in India according to sorry, census 2011, and it shows the means precipitated patriarchal values into our
So
society.
what can be done if you have to take one concrete measure to address this sex ratio issue? What it would be from your side?
So actually, one step cannot solve this crisis because it is entire. It
Okay,
has.
list three major steps which you wish to take.
So first is the sensitization and education. That will be the major issue because it can help tackle the how change the mindset of the people. Because mindset thing is the most important. Only then we can value the women. And secondly, because of the sex issues, also because women are seen as a liability rather than as an asset. For example, the dowry system and the compulsory marriage shows that women are more a burden for family. So women economically has to be empowered. For example, the self-help groups have to be made for with respect to Lijjat Papad like things, so that women themselves become the entrepreneurs, so they do not depend upon the society. And thirdly, the political representation of the women is very low. It has to be increased so that the gender issues come into the limelight.
You just mentioned the first major step deals with the education. Once we create the education, we can address this issue. But in Haryana, there is a paradox. The most literate district is Gurugram. It has distinction of having the lowest sex ratio, whereas Mewat or Nu, which is the least literate district, it has highest sex ratio. So why this disparity? Can you just justify?
So the sex ratio depends upon so lots of factors. For example, the how the society is urbanized, how much the social values have changed. Mostly it depends upon the demographic transition. For example, if we see Haryana, Gurugram, then Gurugram lots of male migration is towards the urban city, and that skews the sex ratio against the women. So that shows that male migration is dominated and women are less, so it skews the ratio towards.
And you talked about representation of women in parliament. Recently, a bill was in news which finally made law. Can you give the exact constitutional amendment through which it has been introduced, or what the name of the bill
It's,
by which we have made 1/3 reservation?
I am not able to recall, but it's something like Nari Shakti Ansandhan. It's more related to reservation in parliamentary and state legislatures to give the equitable representation.
What is the current representation of women in current Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Can you have that rough percentage?
So it's around 14% as per Association for Democratic Reform.
And any one major sports person, because Asian Games are going on, which has already made Haryana proud. Any one name?
So yesterday only they won shooting medals, lots of from Haryana. And actually I'm not able to recall.
Okay, any one from your home district from which you belong, any one major personality. Any, it could be from any field, not necessarily from
From my home district.
home district.
So there is no one I can remember.
Which is your home district?
So it's out of Haryana. It's from Hanumangarh and
Okay,
Rajasthan.
okay. So you're from Rajasthan.
Yes.
ओके तरुण, अभी आपने एक वर्ड यूज किया था फेडरेशन. आप अंतर कर सकते हैं फेडरेशन कॉन्फेडरेशन में क्या डिफरेंस है?
Sorry.
फेडरेशन एंड कॉन्फेडरेशन.
Confederation. So federation is a system in which the powers are divided constitutionally between the two units, which are more coordinated rather than subordinated, and their powers are delineated according to the constitution, and that constitution is supervised by an independent judiciary. That is a federation. And second,
कॉन्फेडरेशन.
confederation. So I am not aware about technicalities, but I have a general idea.
ओके, अभी आपने 2011 के अकॉर्डिंग जो सेक्स रेशियो बताया हरियाणा का,
जी जी.
क्या बताया था अभी आपने? 870. प्रेजेंट में कितना है सेक्स रेशियो? अभी
Present.
एक रिपोर्ट आई है, उसमें न्यू सेक्स रेशियो बताया गया है जो थोड़ा कम हुआ है.
जी. अभी एक्चुअली में कोई सेंसस हुआ नहीं है. अगर रिसेंटली नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे को रिपोर्ट देखें तो उसमें एज फार आई कैन रिमेम्बर इट वाज अराउंड 9-10 समथिंग अराउंड इट वाज
906.
906.
हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट कुछ स्कीम्स चल रही हैं
जी
फॉर गर्ल्स.
जी जी
इसमें एक फेमस स्कीम है लाडली पेंशन योजना.
जी.
इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
So Ladli pension scheme is for those families which have only female as the child, and the parents are aged above the 50 years. They are towards the elderly side, so they can apply for the pensions so that they
ये पेंशन स्कीम जो है SC ST एंड जनरल सबको सारी कैटेगरीज को कवर करती है या ओनली फॉर BPL एंड SC ST फैमिलीज?
as far as remit for all families, I think, because it is aimed at providing social security, so that has to given to all. Particular specifics I don't remember.
ओके तरुण, अगर आपको कोई स्कीम बनानी है, आपको लगता है सेक्स रेशियो आपके एरिया में कम है और आपको एक पावर दी जाती है कि आपको एक स्कीम बनानी है गर्ल्स के लिए, इससे उनका सेक्स रेशियो बढ़े, उनकी जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है उसमें रिफॉर्म आए, देन आप ऐसे 2 पॉइंट बताइए जो आप उसमें स्कीम में डालना चाहेंगे
Particularly with respect to education.
गर्ल्स के लिए, एजुकेशन एंड सेक्स रेशियो. 2 की पॉइंट्स.
So firstly, with respect to education, I will provide self trainings for the women, for the girls, and also provide the assets which are required for the education. For example, the cycle for the transport facility, and bags, because lot of families cannot afford, and also the transport system from which are away from the location of schools. For example, in Mewat and Morni Hills, they are far away from girls are not able.
तरुण, आपको नहीं लगता कि जो हरियाणा में एक माइंड सेट है कि गर्ल्स को नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए, उसके लिए आप कुछ प्रोवाइड करेंगे स्कीम में? उस माइंड सेट को चेंज करने के लिए कुछ करना चाहेंगे?
Yes, sir. Mindset has to be targeted, and community mobilization has to be there.
क्या आप खाप पंचायत को उसमें इन्वॉल्व करेंगे, करना चाहेंगे?
Yes, sir. Khap Panchayat can be included because they can act positively as a social institution, and they have hold over the societal consciousness, so they can help in bringing the positive change for the women.
ठीक है. NCR रीजन के बारे में कुछ बताइए, इसको कब एस्टेब्लिश किया गया था एंड अभी प्रेजेंट में इसमें कितनी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं एंड कितने स्टेट्स को ये कवर करता है?
So the roots of NCR belongs to the urbanization in the past history. Earlier Britishers, what they did that urban cities were considered more as a transition point rather than an independent economy. So they did not overall plan for the rising urbanization, but after independence the urbanization has grew very rapidly. So there was a demand that nearby areas in Delhi.
So NCR रीजन को कब क्रिएट किया गया था, किस ईयर?
Sir, I am not particularly sure about what is the.
हरियाणा की कितनी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं इसमें?
In Haryana, there are around 14 districts which are included.
Can you name?
Yes, sir, lots of there. For example, Gurugram is there, then Sonipat is there, then Rewari is there, then Faridabad is there, then this entire belt, Panipat, then Rohtak.
ओके तरुण, वेरी गुड. मेवात दंगों के बारे में आपने सुना होगा.
Sorry.
मेवात दंगे, राइट्स.
Yes, sir.
आप कैसे देखते हैं इन दंगों को? जो मेवात में भी हुए थे रिसेंटली?
So the recent communal clashes in Mewat shows that the deprivations among the people has been politically sorry.
आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं? कल्चरल इशू, रिलीजियस इशू, पॉलिटिकल इशू, सोशल इशू?
Sorry, I see more it as a developmental issue because Mewat area has been one of the aspirational district included by the Indian government. So it is very low in the development indices. For example, if we see women literacy rate there, it's around
तरुण, आपको पता
36%.
है मेवात का जो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है वहाँ पर दंगे नहीं हुए अभी तक?
जी,
ये बहुत टाइम के बाद दंगे हुए हैं। देन अगर डेवलपमेंटल इशू होता देन दंगे पहले भी होने चाहिए थे, राइट्स पहले भी होने चाहिए थे।
जी.
देन दिस टाइम व्हाई?
So this time it was more related to fundamentalism of religion, cow vigilantism, and inclusion of some personalities, which led to some hate speeches, and that led to the riots. And the past it was.
ओके तरुण, अगर आप दंगों के टाइम पर उस एरिया में होते और एज आप पुलिस ऑफिसर और एसडीएम, देन आप क्या करते? कौन से मेजर्स लेते इनको रोकने के लिए? एनी 2 स्टेप्स?
First, the leaders of the different communities have to be. I will first constitute a committee including the different religions which are in that region.
आफ्टर राइट्स
During
आप
that,
रोकने के लिए क्या करते?
during particular rights. So the leaders of the different sections has to be brought on the table and they has to be communicated. And those who have committed violence or they are committing, then particular law and order situation has to be maintained using the force to avoid them from committing violence which is against the law.
तरुण, मिडिवल पीरियड में एक वॉरियर है हरियाणा से, रेवाड़ी से, हेमचंद्र विक्रमादित्य। इन्होंने टाइटल लिया विक्रमादित्य का। विक्रमादित्य टाइटल क्या सिग्निफाई करता है?
Vikramaditya title is about gaining an extraordinary achievement. For example, the
आर यू कैसे?
no, actually I'm not able to come to particular words, but I have some origin about that.
Okay, so where do you want to live? Delhi or Haryana?
Wherever I will be posted after service, I will live there.
Okay, what is your biggest quality?
Biggest quality, I think I have the ability to differentiate in what are my views on a particular issues and what are the societal issues and people are saying. That if I think that okay, society whatever around views are contributing to my view, then I will take them. If I think they are against particular thing, then I will reject them. Means I have ability to differentiate between myself and other selves. And secondly, I think it's the responsibility which I consider is most important for
Why
me.
do you meditate?
Meditation has slowly evolved in my life, and its meditation is more about calming the emotions of myself and gaining a critical picture of what is happening around me and with myself. It is also for the inner well-being for what I do meditation.
So meditation is making you more urbanized.
But I don't think that this relation is correct, because most of the traditions in spirituality and those have evolved in rural India earlier.
But rural India is not performing that. They are being performed majorly in the urbanized areas. What
Recent,
is the reason behind this? Why this has not happened in rural areas?
social life of an individual depends on lot of factors. In urban life, the life is very fast.
Meditation has nothing to do with social life.
Urban life is very fast, so they are very engrossed into mental health issues are lot there. For example, a recent report shows the anxiety levels in Indians are among the second highest in the world. So this shows that there are mental issues, and recently in the COVID also we saw that mental health issues.
You are always this putting your answer with lot of facts. You are not giving your own vision. Each time you are giving me statistical data, and you are just molding my question.
No,
No,
actually,
just tell me what is the reason that these meditations are being more performed in urbanized area and the rural areas are devoid of them. It is not the case. In rural areas, rural people are also equally depressed. In each day, I see a lot of patients who are depressed, and they are from the rural areas. It is not a case that only urban areas people are depressed.
I didn't say the rural areas are not depressed, but the way the urban life is organized, the quantity of
Urban life is not equivalent to this whatever you are saying, this high tech is this very hectic है ये. This is not urbanized. सिर्फ यही नहीं है urbanized. You just tell me that why these meditations are not performed by rural people and they are being performed by the urbanized people. Yes.
So, ma'am, I see both rural and urban people do perform meditation, but in urban life, the trend of meditation is more. This is mainly I consider because of mental health issues and rural people migrating to urban areas and their families are distorted. They are not able to vent out their emotions, and this had led to the.
What are the causes of migration? You have geography option.
Yes.
What are the causes of migration?
Migration occur because of pull factors like the urban opportunities with respect to the education, with respect to job, and with respect to the quality of life, the new ease of
How
life.
many types of migrations are there?
Types of
Yes,
migration.
types of migrations.
Then when they can be ex-migration, emigration means migration
Your
out of
biggest
a
quality is that you are a very aware person. The time you think that this I am going wrong, you come back to yourself. This has done, meditations has done this to you. And you belong to, as you said, you belong to rural background. And meditations have done very good to you, what I can see. This is your biggest quality. Okay, now tell me the answer. Yes, where were you? Remember it.
I remember, I was
Yes.
just recollecting. It was emigration from people move from a particular place out of that area. And second is immigration. People come towards a particular area. Then if we see geographically, then they can be internal migration. For example, with respect to India, the people of UP moving towards urban cities, and if we can also see international migration from India, let's say, to USA. And there in international migration, there are further different migrations.
As you have resided in Delhi, for how many years you were in Delhi?
It has been around 5 years.
5 years. So what have you discovered in Delhi? Means why is this that the most heinous crimes are being performed in Delhi? This is your view. What is your perspective, not data?
Ma'am, the crimes are usually committed in the dark areas where the law and order situations are not very usual. And
What will you do to mend this? Why law and order is not correct there? As a civil servant, how will you improve? As you said, you are very responsible.
how will I improve the
Yes,
situation?
yes. Improve the law and order condition, not situation.
Well, first, I will try to incorporate the new technology to analyze the where most of the crimes are actually happening, because that will give a sense of
Is this Delhi
prioritization.
में ऐसा है कि at some particular spot the crimes are being done more? ऐसा है वहाँ पे? Means you have
Yes,
आप वहाँ पे रह के आए हो?
Yes, ma'am, it is there. It is more towards the fringe areas of Delhi. It is
Fringe
more being
areas.
committed because there administration is relatively weaker because
So what has Delhi done to Gurugram positively and negatively both?
when we see positively, then Gurugram acts as satellite city of Delhi, and most of the investment in Gurugram has also happened because of Delhi. Because in Delhi, lots of investment has come, and this has led to congestion in that city. So to decentralize the city, the Gurugram has emerged as a satellite city. So the very growth of the Gurugram is one of the major factors because of Delhi. And if we see negatively, then the relative issues of traffic congestion in Delhi, Gurugram are emerging, and new factories are.
What should be done, what can be done to improve this traffic congestion? It is happening everywhere. What should be done? You being a student of geography option,
If we see the problem of traffic congestion, it is mainly because a particular city has only one central business district from where the most of the economic activities happen, and that is the main cause of congestion. If we decentralize the cities and establish the counter magnets around a city, say if we want to improve the traffic congestion of Delhi, then we can make counter magnets around Delhi. Let's say Agra, then Alwar area, then Jaipur. So this will stop the migration towards Delhi.
for
And
how long do you meditate?
it's around 30 minutes usually.
Every day you perform meditation.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you learn it?
Learning was primarily because of my actually Tauji, because he used to meditate daily, and when I was a child, he used to make me sit near him. So I didn't know what is he doing, but I used to sit near him. And slowly that habit inculcated in me. But after that, I left it, and I moved to Delhi. And after Delhi, because I was a little bit alone there, so I started meditating.
Loneliness has promoted you towards meditation.
Not loneliness, but when I used to meditate earlier, it helped me in calming my emotions. That motivated me. Okay, it is doing something beneficial. I must try.
आप कौन से जिले से हैं हरियाणा में?
I am from Rajasthan.
You are from Rajasthan.
Yes, ma'am.
How will you would like to protect the art and culture of Rajasthan? When I visited this Rajasthan, means the culture, the activities of cultural people, it was very deviseful. Even कुटली जो है कठपुतली नाच है, no one was standing to watch it. है ना? What will you do for the artist? जो कठपुतली नाच दिखा रहा है, उसके लिए how will you like to do? उसके लिए क्या करना चाहेंगे आप?
Firstly, ma'am, they must be formalized into the formal economy. We train the artist, we help them to engage in gaining the skills and recognize their prior skills, and give them employment in the. For example, we can apply their traditional skills into the new methods. Let's say we want to.
Then it won't remain traditional.
Why? Because the traditional method is being applied into the modern scenario. So it is more of a mixture of traditional
But
order.
we want to preserve that. This is the preservation, na? Preserve as they are.
Preserve as they are.
Yes, this is preservation of tradition. Means अगर भांगड़ा है उसमें कोई और स्टेप कर दे, it will become a mixture, isn't it? उसको ऐसे ही preserve करना है. वो नहीं हो सकता आप कह रहे हो. This is not possible. उससे
Traditions.
तो वो रहा ही नहीं ना.
And traditions and culture.
Tradition, folk art and culture. If you like to modify it to increase the audience, it will no longer remain traditional.
Well, the core traditional values can be protected, but it has to be modernized according to the
No,
context.
no. When it will modernize, it will not remain traditional.
I am saying in the sense, let me give you an illustration. For example, if we have Kathputli, if we want to promote, let's say, how to help a woman, So we can make two Kathputulis. Let's say one is traditional society, women are there. One is modern society. We can show then how the modern women who are Kathputulis are helping the society. And
You are using modern into tradition, not traditional into modern. This is what you are doing.
Sorry, I didn't
You are adding modern into traditional, not traditional into modern. So it is preserved.
Ma'am, it is both mixed. For example, we can also show the Kathputali dance online, so that will be also the modern into traditional. So it is always a dialectical process. They has to be
So
present
you want to
together.
promote this Kathputli Naach online.
We can promote it. It can be
Okay.
one of the way. And other ways are also there. For example, tourism. The Padharo Maro Desh.
So
slogan of
tourism तो online नहीं हो सकता.
tourism can be done online nowadays. We
What
have,
is the purpose of tourism being done online?
ma'am, it is the tourism. It provides the aesthetic services. It calms our.
Yes, online how will it come?
We can use the modern technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality. They give the realistic experience in while sitting in a room. We are.
This you are again, this is artificial intelligence. Traditions are being ruined by artificial intelligence this way.
No, ma'am.
No.
Actually, traditions.
I disagree
Okay,
with
Tarun,
this.
what is modernity according to you? Modernity. What are modern ideas?
Modern ideas.
Modernity, modern ideas.
Modern ideas are those which are relevant towards the present context and help us achieve the future potential we want to achieve.
Any two ideas in present scenario?
Sir,
Consider as modern
equality and empowerment.
empowerment of
Empowerment of the vulnerable sections and Antyodayas. And let's say the Vishwakarma Skill Yojana, it helps in empowering the artisans who are engaged in the carpentry and visions, so they are empowering. So those two are one of the modern values.
If you are in Panchampur or Panprasth, which present day Haryana cities you would be in? Panchampur and Panprasth. Because these are some ancient names of present districts or you could say cities of Haryana. And there is an ongoing debate that Haryana should make Panchkula its capital city or at least shift its main legislative assembly courts. What was your take on it? Is it advisable or we should continue with Chandigarh being the...
So the capital city issue is comes from the division of the Punjab and Haryana, and earlier Chandigarh was to be shifted towards Punjab, and Haryana was to come with new capital according to a Longowal Pact, but in middle it was revoked and Chandigarh was made as the capital of both. But if we see in the longer context, each state has their own particular regional issues, so it is better to have own capital. And in the medium term, if we see, then Chandigarh as a capital is doing good, and only there are procedural issues. For example, the congestion of the Vidhan Sabha and the requirement of the new rooms in the Vidhan Sabha by Haryana government. So in the medium term, these can be a little bit new rooms could be made, and in the longer term, a new capital can be evolved. Panchkula can be a potential one, and that could help in the prioritizing the regional issues as well.
And when is Haryana Day celebrated?
It's 1st November.
Are you sure or making a guess?
Because Haryana was evolved on this date, so I think it should be made on celebrated. on this
And
date.
why we should select it? Any one major reason which you feel is a standout that you are ready for the administrative job because we have high chances.
So
Because we have
see-
only selected 61 candidates so far out of 100, so you are likely to get the post for sure. So, but if you want the SDM or PSP, what's one unique quality?
So I would say the main eligibility for a civil service is orientation of that particular person towards the public welfare. and this particular concept has shaped my choice of civil
Yes, share
service.
any one instance where you feel you put public welfare or public service, any incident from your life.
So I have not got any major opportunity to do it, but at my local level I have tried to do it. For example, when I go to nearby areas, I usually buy vegetables from farmers from the field only. I usually do not buy from the big shops from the market. So I think that helps the farmers better. And I have usually, for example, when I was in Delhi, when I used to come out of metro, there was one lady who used to drive rickshaw. I usually used to go on that rickshaw only. So these are very small incident at my own local level, but I think public service was main motive behind that.
What was the biggest setback in your life till date?
And I don't find any biggest setback as of now.
And high?
High. Ma'am, actually I have the quality. I do not usually appreciate I do not celebrate much of my achievements, and I do not get bogged down by minor obstacles. So I usually try to promote equanimity. So I have do not much experienced about how very much highs and lows in my life. I think I have more like waves of the ocean just flowing up and down.
Okay, sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
last question, sir. Last question. Tell us full form of PC-PNDT Act.
So
No issue, sir.
hopefully I'm
Thank you.
not able to go.
Thank you.